So about 11 minutes in against Manchester United, Leah Williamson went down with an injury to her right knee. It looked like her kneecap popped up, which it really shouldn't have done. After a few minutes of attention on the pitch by the physio, she went off. She hobbled off down the tunnel. Now, we know with knee injuries, there is generally quite a lot of swelling immediately, so it can be hard to diagnose, so you've got to wait a few days for that swelling to go down and have a clearer prognosis of of a diagnosis and prognosis. So there's no point sort of speculating at this point in time without sort of hard medical facts. But there is a worry, not just in the long term, but the short term as well. Arsenal have to go away to Wolfsburg this weekend. They're playing a Champions League semi-final. They have a lot of injuries to contest with right now, although we did see Leah Williamson come back, as well as Steph Catley come back in this game. Williamson was a little break from football for sort of mental health reasons, with sort of things going on in her personal life, where Steph Catley was a physical problem she's returned from. But there is a general question around availability of players for the Champions League, as well as the last 5 games of Arsenal's league season. In the build-up to this game, Jonas Eidevall did question why Arsenal were playing this midweek game ahead of a Champions League clash. Chelsea also playing this weekend, not playing in the midweek, but where you look at how the fixtures are stacked up and lined up for Arsenal, there is very little place that this game could have gone. So what you'd have to do is go back to before the start of the season, back to when the schedule was made, and try and say, if this team is in Europe, if this team is in this competition, how can we change how the tail end of their season is looking? And that maybe is a question for next season, and it's certainly not a problem that is unique to WSL and unique to England, whereas other leagues do allow some wiggle room for teams who are in Europe, especially around sort of the quarters and semi-finals of the Champions League, if they are thinking teams will be getting that far. But there is the immediate worry of personnel for Arsenal as well as England. We know that Leah Williamson is a key figure in Serena Wiegmann's England team, not just as captain, but she is a leader on the pitch, she is a leader in the dressing room. Now, whether she's playing at centre-back, whether she's in midfield, she's a massive, massive loss for the Lionesses if she is absent for the World Cup. And, there are a few different ways that England could retweak things. I think possibly the most logical would be to see Alex Greenwood pairing up with Millie Bright at centre-back, which would probably mean that Rachel Daly is back in the full-back role. We've got Lotte Wood-Moy, who might be sort of nailing down that spot in the team, as well as Steph Horton as an option to come back and join up that defence. But at the moment, there is very little we do know about the injury, and very little we know about if it's short-term or long-term. But at first sight, it does look particularly worrying for Williamson, for Arsenal, and potentially for England.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.